It's sort of fitting the right kind of shape.
Alright everyone, how are we all doing? Today we're bringing you the massively hyped pictures of thylacines from Tagoa. Now England time, as I am right now, is 3:15 in the afternoon. So it's a bit earlier than anticipated, but that is great news. If you want to get a comprehensive reminder of what's happened, you can check out video 1 here and check out video 2 here. Go back, see those, get yourself up to date. Now before we do get into this video, why don't you smash the like button on this one if you want to see a thylacine alive. Also while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe if you're new so you stay up to date with thylacine information, and I'm trying to get myself to 10k subs by the summer. We'll try that. That would be great. Now though, let's talk about these Tasmanian tiger pictures. Neil Waters, who is the president of the Tagoa page, said that he'd got 3 pictures of thylacines, 2 were ambiguous and 1 was unambiguous in this video last week. Everybody who's interested in the subject was hyped about this. This sounded like all the proof we needed to prove that this animal still exists. But as the week went on, the hype turned into concern. Nick Mooney of the Tasmanian Museum and Art Gallery rejected the pictures. Neil also went onto a radio show, showed the pictures to the host, and he sounded uninterested. Those 2 things in themselves is really not a good start, and also Tagoa has a history of calling what looks like to be a wallaby a thylacine. But even so, we've waited patiently until this moment, and now here we are. The pictures are here. Neil has uploaded a 19-minute long YouTube video to the Tagoa's YouTube page walking through the pictures. If you want to see the full video, the link is in the description down below. He's also gone and posted this on Facebook as well. We hope you enjoy our best ever evidence we have to date of thylacines still persisting in Tasmania in these modern times. We now wish to introduce to you our little baby we have decided should be called Hope, because that is what she represents, not only for her species, but all species here on Earth. Enjoy. So in actual fact, we've got 5 pictures to be looking at today. I'm going to post them on the screen now for 2 seconds each. If you want to pause, feel free to do so. So first off, I'm going to revert back to this comment in the previous video.
The baby is not ambiguous.
They are ambiguous. They're all ambiguous. We were led to believe that we would look at these pictures and we would see 100% a Tasmanian tiger. That's not the case at all. It's something that we've genuinely feared, and it seems like it's something that we've got as well. So before we dive into them, it's already really disappointing. But let's not just dismiss the photos. Let's have a look and see what we can get from them. We're going to start with picture 1. And this one it's just a blurred black and white mess. Yes, they look like there could be 2 eyes there, but that's genuinely it. Like, there is nothing you can get from this photo. That on its own is just, it's not worth the time and day. I don't know why it's been posted really. What's the point? If I got that on my camera trap, I'd just delete it. There's no point. But it does get more interesting, says Neil, because in the next picture, the animal comes into focus and you can sort of see it a little bit more.
Then it gets really interesting because the animal comes into focus.
And yeah, okay, I do agree with that. It's more into focus. It's got an interesting look to it. It's very hard to tell, but you can see what looks like to be a face, eyes and ears. I don't know what that is, but I don't jump to say thylacine. And if you held a gun to my head and said to pick something, I would probably say the Tasmanian devil. Now where this picture does get more interesting though is when Neil in the video, he puts a Tasmanian tiger's head over the image we get here in picture 2, and I mean it looks like it, I guess.
It's sort of fitting the right kind of shape.
That's not to confirm it by any stretch of the imagination, but it helps to visualise it and sort of see the outlines, I suppose. Is it enough though? No, it's not. I would say that's interesting, but ultimately, I don't know what that is. A stab in the dark, Tasmanian devil. And now we move on to picture 3.
Is that a wallaby? It looks like it's walking, not hopping.
To me, yes.
A little bit of shading there, or is that stripes?
Okay, so now I think he's reaching with this. That to me, that looks like shading. It's obviously some sort of thick Australian bush that they're in, and there are shadows being casted everywhere. Now all I'm seeing here is wallaby. And again, I don't look at this and I think thylacine. And I think this is the problem I'm going to have. It seems like to me anyway that Neil is trying to fit the thylacine into these pictures. He's not looking at them objectively. It's like he's trying to say, I don't know what this is, but I think it's a Tasmanian tiger that's been extinct for 80 years. Doesn't make sense. Whereas I think other people would look at this and be like, nah. Now, if I looked at this and saw nothing that resembled an animal that's alive today, then yeah, sure, I'd probably go for thylacine, and it would probably pique my curiosity. But because wallabies exist, because pademelons exist, I think this is a reach, and I'm just not curious about it at all. We're going to move it on now to picture 4, and this is the picture that Neil says he's got everything hanging on.
And the image that I'm hanging everything on, because I know what I'm looking at here.
The baby
is not ambiguous.
Now, this is described as not being ambiguous at all, and I genuinely think there's been some miscommunication here, because that word ambiguous definitely means something different to Neil than it does to me. This is ambiguous. Now, something that isn't ambiguous is something like this. This, however, I mean, it definitely is. So Neil goes on to tell us why he thinks it's a thylacine. He explains multiple things about why he thinks this, but I think I'm just going to revert back to what the radio host said the other day, and this is before we, as a collective audience, saw these pictures.
Neil, the photograph is interesting. The stripes may be dappling from the light coming through nearby tree.
My thoughts are exactly the same as that. Those so-called stripes, they just look like shadows to me created by the bracken or the branches or the trees that are nearby this animal. They don't look like stripes. Again, I don't look at this and think, yeah, that's a thylacine. I see a small animal, potentially a baby. Yeah, I totally see that. But I don't see that as being a baby for the Tasmanian tiger. I see it as being potentially a baby for a wallaby and it's mid-movement. And that makes me really sad because I thought this was going to be conclusive proof, but it's just not. And again, I just want to make sure you guys are all aware that I am a firm believer that the Tasmanian tiger still exists. I 100% believe it's still out there. And I think it's fantastic. We've got people like Neil who are being funded to go and look for these things. But this that's been provided, this just isn't it. And genuinely, I think he's really reaching with it. Picture 5, and it's just a wallaby or a pademelon. It looks nothing like a Tasmanian tiger. But Neil in the video tries to convince that it is a Tasmanian tiger.
There are some very telltale signs here that this is everything but a pademelon.
No, it's not. And again, I just want to reiterate that I am a massive believer in the Tasmanian tiger or the thylacine, about it being alive, but I've not seen that from these pictures. Like, to me, if any country could hide something for years and years and years and it go completely unnoticed, then I would say Australia. It's massive. But pictures like this, to me, while in the general sense of wildlife are quite interesting, they aren't interesting in the Tasmanian tiger sense. Picture 1 is nothing. There's literally no point in it. Picture 2 is interesting from a wildlife point of view, not a Tasmanian tiger point of view. Like, what is that animal? Stab in the dark, Tasmanian devil for me. But I think genuinely, I don't know. It's inconclusive on all fronts. Picture 3, and again, I don't know, but I would guess wallaby. Picture 4, and this is supposed to be the smoking gun. I think it's ambiguous, but if I was to guess, I would say a Joey wallaby. Picture 5, wallaby. It's too cryptic. It's not the smoking gun that we need, and I think for me, it sounds like The Boy Who Cried Wolf, and this is pretty embarrassing.
The baby is not ambiguous.
Just don't say it's not ambiguous when it clearly is. It really, really is. But if you've got a different opinion, I'd love to hear about it in the comment section down below. Do you think any of these pictures show a thylacine, or do you think that potentially these aren't thylacine at all? But that's going to be all from me, so don't forget to smash the like button on this video if you want to see a Tasmanian tiger still alive. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here as well for more up-to-date thylacine news. And I'm trying to get myself to 10k subscribers by the summer. I want to be showing off my sub count and that. Anyway, I've been Cookie. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.
Congratulations, everyone. We've done it.